Alright, let's start. So, last week we did more of introduction to what design is, explaining the rules about designing and stuff, right? And talking about how applications of all this design process can make us design wonderful designs, right? So I made this design right before the class started. So I will be showing us how everything here was done and how all our principles for design was applied here for this particular design. So last week we did a deeper exploration of CorelDRAW, right? And how robust it is for creating vectors. Then we kept on working on this logo that we have been working on and created more mock-ups for it, right? More mock-ups for it. Time is already fast spent a bit. More mock-ups for it. Then we talked about mastering the drawing tools, right? Using the curve tool to be able to manipulate objects, right? So using it to create intricate shapes and hands-on vector designs, just like logos. So today a lot of practical will be done, right? So how many persons are joined with their computer right now? If you are joined with your computer right now, so that you can follow immediately I do it, or as you guys like to do, you go and watch the video. But most of you are not watching the videos. According to what I'm seeing, I am on the YouTube account. Most persons are not even watching the video, so I don't even see the reason why I'm recording this most times. So today is the part 2 of the advanced techniques, right? So in this session, we'll delve into advanced techniques for creating various print materials. So print materials like flyers, like what you are seeing on your screen right now. So business cards, letterheading, yeah, all using this corridor that we have been using. So these materials are one of the most common in graphics. So when you are working with a client, it's either you are creating a flyer for them, or you are creating a business card, or you are creating a letterheading, or you are creating a logo, a brochure, or whatever. So on rare cases, you are getting most of those. But the most common one you always get when you're designing flyers, business cards, letterheading, right? So first of all, we'll explain what is a flyer, right? What is a flyer? So that we wouldn't just fly like a flyer. That joke was not supposed to come out. So let's get into it. So flyers are one-page promotional materials. So when we say one page, when you look at one page, then you be able to see all the informations needed for that particular design, right? This Spotify is just casting me. Uh, so we say flyer are one-page promotional material. So they are a promotional material, right? Promoting what? Promoting what you are doing at that particular time, right? So for events, so flyers can be used for events like churches, inauguration, or their party, end of the year party, or somebody has come on mic. I say if you are joining a meet, always off your mic. So like flyers, business cards, letterheading. So flyers are one-page promotional material used for events or a business or even an organization, right? So you will learn how to create eye-catching and informative flyers. So the practical is design a promotional flyer for an upcoming local event, but a local event. So we work on layout, typography, and graphics to create a visually appealing and what informative flyer. So let's say we got a brief from Creative Click, right? So this is one of my brand name, but I'm not ready to start this one yet. So the one I have currently is Beloved Designs, right? If you have followed my Instagram, you have seen the so Creative Click is a brand I'm planning on working on recently. Whereby there are a lot of creative persons working on a particular project. Right? So you get the point. So a community of people who design web and so on, all together working together in projects together. So critically is running a design masterclass 0.1, right? So that was the reason I took time before I started your class. So I was trying to do some finishing touches on this. So what's the first thing I was supposed to do when I want to design masterclass? We could have just gone for like a black and white design, right? Like we did here, designing of layout, right? We could have just gone for say black and white background. So we needed something that would captivate people and talk more about tech. So if you're looking about technology, you notice that mostly technology designs are mostly talking about, you see blue almost everywhere, right? So blue is mainly taking a lot of space in tech designs. So we're going to also stick with that. So let's say that we're not just sticking with that because blue is like the color for tech. Let's say that is also the brand color. So what do we need first? We need a workspace where we're going to design all this in. So what measurements will we be using? So the measurements will also be determined by what will this design be used for. So if we say we're using this design mainly for, let's say, web or for digital spaces like Facebook, Instagram, maybe the flyer won't be printed out. But most times people don't print most times, right? So let's say these flyers won't be printed out, they will mostly be used online. So we might be going for like a square shaped design like what you are seeing on my screen, right? So where the ratio is just whether 4 by 4, 10 by 10, but what you know is that the height and the breadth would be the same size. So let's first draw that box, right? So I'll just give it 11 by 11. So here we have this 11 by 11. The next thing I want to do is to research, right? So you might want to research. So most of the websites are used for researching. Pinterest, right? So you might want to find out that okay, you cannot just jump into design like that. That's why most people get confused and waste more time while designing, right? So you might just say graphics tutorial. How will I name this? Tutorial flyer. So this is my own account. This is my name, Joshua. So from here you see a lot of flyers that other designers have made. So if you use Google most times, you might see some good designs, but most of them might look like nonsense, right? So you see a lot of designs that will inspire you, like something like this one that you saw on my screen already. So if you now scroll, you see a lot of flyers, and when you look at them, you download most of them, and from there you get an inspiration to design. So you're not trying to replicate what the designer has done. No, you're getting ideas from just seeing what they have done. As you can see now on this flyer, there's something like this, like toolbox. If you look at, I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear.
Alright, so let's get into it. So I say, as you can see, there's like a toolbox here on this flyer, right? So if you look at my own design here, I have something similar to it, but it's different, right? I guess you can guess where I got this from. I got it from my screen here. I screenshotted this my toolbox. I screenshotted my toolbox and then used it in here. So then when I've seen all those, I would have seen a lot of flyers with a lot of ideas that other designers have did, and I say, okay, I think I've gotten what I want to do in my head, right? Then we get into it. So most times you can even download those pictures, right? Download that flyer itself and bring it into CorelDRAW. Then starts the design. So I will need a background. Right, so I will need a background to design this. So what kind of background would I need? So I needed a background where you would see a designer that is designing already. So where do I get my pictures from? I get most of my pictures from FreePic. So you can visit freepic.com. Freepic.com. Yeah. So I searched for tech or graphic guy that is designing. So here I have a picture of someone working on building. So this is not like a graphic designer, so he's an architect. But as far as he has board and some stuff, so what I did, I downloaded. So FreePic gives, I think, per day they give 10 free images, right? So after 10 free images, you have to pay for any other one you are downloading. And also they have free pictures and they have premium pictures. So anyone that has this crown, they have premium pictures. If you want to download them, you have to pay. And they also have AI generated pictures, right? So I download most of my pictures from FreePic before I design. So after you design, after you have downloaded it, right, the next thing you want to do is to import the picture, right? So here we have our import tool. This is Control I. So if I click on import, here's the picture already, right? So I'll bring it here. Right, so this is my picture that I imported. So what are we going to do next? I'm going to power clip it inside this. I've already taught how to power clip already, right? And I said to power clip in CorelDRAW, we drag with our right click mouse and drop the picture into the background, right? Power clip inside. Now it's inside, we can't touch it. So what should I do next? I'm going to have to go inside the design and make it bigger. So I left click and I'll say edit power clip. I go in, then make this picture as big as I want. So I don't want this building to be showing so much, this one here, based on we are talking about design and not architecture. So I'm going to make this picture so big. Yeah, whereas you are seeing the computer, and you are also seeing what the guy is doing a bit, but not fully. So you can now check, yeah, you can see that, okay, it's a bit like it. That's the first thing that was done here. So after that, you can see that there's like a blue background at the back, right? Because I don't just want this guy to just be there normally, right? So what did I do next? I went in again. So what I did was I drew a box. Box that can cover the whole page. So I used my color eyedropper. Look at the box here. So I used this color eyedropper and selected a color from this image. Alright, so you don't have to select a color from outside. If you're going to select this blue, now it might be different from the blue we are having here. So I picked a color from this background. I have a blue here, and I filled it into this box, right? And I removed the airline also. I brought it back on top of the picture. Alright. So if you should go outside, you will see that the box has covered the whole picture, right? So I'm just taking it slowly so that you get it, even when you are watching the video. So edit power clip, I go back inside. You might not need to go outside before, but I just did that so that you understand what I'm doing. So the next thing I need to do is to use my transparency tool, right? So if you click on the transparency tool, then come here, we have uniform transparency. That one is for everywhere. Then you have the fountain transparency. You can see that's transparent this side, and here it's still shining. So I can choose to move here. These bars like this will determine how deep the color is going to look like, or how light is going to look like. So I can decide to move here also like this. And the blue, we have more say on the design. So when you are satisfied with what you have done, you can now click here and you go out, right? So now we've done that. So I can notice here that this one blue is not as much as this. So let me go back, edit it a bit, reduce how blue the line should look, and close it down. Alright. So the next thing I did is to design this round stuff, right? This round stuff that is here. That's the next thing I did. So how was I able to achieve that? I drew a box, right? So almost everything we've been doing here now, you can see why before we started teaching all this design, we had to teach you how to draw a box, how to do all those things, because they are all very important, because you're going to use them someday, somehow. So I drew a full box just like this, right? Then I curved the edges. So how do I do that? I go to my shape tool, right? Then just move here. Now when you're using this, make sure this padlock is locked, right? Then I move here like this, because if the padlock is not locked, just like what happened now, it's only here that it's going to work, right? So let's change this back to 0. So you see that when the padlock was locked, only one side was able to move, but when it's opened, you can move both everywhere at the same time. So now we have this rounded shape, right? So what else do I need to do? I made the box black. right? And I remove the airline. Say none, I don't need any airline, right? Then, if you notice, this black was mixed with blue. So what should we do? I taught you that already, how to mix two colors. So I said you will click on F11, right? So you click on F11. So now we have this. So we can now mix. So I'm moving it so that I can see the effect I'm giving. So I have black already. So I need extra blue. So I'm going to use my color picker and select the latest blue I used. I think it's this. Yeah. So the blue is here. So CorelDRAW helps you to save history. So the colors you've been using, you'll be seeing the history on this part. So you can quickly select them. So I bend this, I tilt it. So the black I think is like this. So you can rotate it also. So we can say okay. Alright, but you say this is not looking like this yet. So what I did next is I use my transparency tool again, right? So you're going to click on your transparency tool and use here the fountain transparency that I used before. Use it on it again. So instead of like this, you can now bend this way. Place this here. Move it up a bit. Right. So what we'll do next is that I now duplicated this one, right? So I made it 2, Ctrl D. I have another one. So now that I have this one here, I'll now mirror it. So we have what we call mirror here, mirror horizontally and mirror vertically. So I want to mirror horizontally. So I'm going to tap here. No, I want to mirror vertically. It goes upside down, right? So now I have to now bring it back to this one. So I'll click on this one, hold shift and tap on it also and click on C. It comes under. So I want them to be together at the same point, so I'll click on B, right? So I reduce this first one a bit, go down. That was that about that, so there's too much complexity about that. So the next thing we did was this Photoshop icon. So how did I get it? I just googled. So we can just say PS icon. I think it was 3D I put there. I wanted to add CorelDRAW, but I didn't see type there. So this is the PNG image. So I downloaded this picture, right? So most times when you download PNG pictures, they will tell you that it's PNG, but when you bring it there, it won't be PNG. So somebody might be asking, what does PNG mean? So PNG are like icons or images that don't have backgrounds, right? So you can easily place them on top of anything and they wouldn't have background. So here's an example. So if I should go to my downloads and import, look at what I just downloaded now. If I download it now and bring it here, you notice there's a white background at the back. So the Photoshop is not on this one. So this guy has just scammed me. So, but I cannot fail. So what I did next was I would have used my Photoshop to remove the background, but I visited remove.bg. So this is a website I also use for cleaning background, remove.bg. You can search it also. So I uploaded the picture there, this PNG transparent. So on this website, they have both HD and just normal picture. So after they have traced the picture out, you can decide to download it normally or download an HD version. Right, so for HD version, you have to be a subscribed partner or sign up. Since it's not a practice class, you can just click on download and you download it. But beware, because the picture might not be really high resolution as you want it. So in case you want to use it later times, you pay for it. So click on this, import it, bring it in. Right, so that's the picture there. So you see it's different from this. So a lot of work have gone into this that made it look like this. So we're going to try all those out. Like I said, we are doing deeper exploration of CorelDRAW. So I rotated it like this. So So you want to rotate a picture or something. When you click on it again. Right, so I made it bigger. So what would I want to do again? I go to my bitmap and I say image adjustment. So since the design is kind of blue, I just change the temperature to a bit of blue. I reduce the temperature. And that angle there. So I say okay. I think this is okay. So then you will notice the Photoshop look a bit blurred. So we have the blur icon here. So if you go into bitmap, so you see blur here. So we have Gaussian blur or motion blur. So I'm going to duplicate this because I'm going to use it later again. So I'll say bitmap and I'll say blur, Gaussian blur. How blur do I want it to look like? I'm going to reduce it so that you can at least see it a bit. I think this thing is not yet how I want it. So I'll blur it now. So 5.0. Don't leave it like that. So I have this right now, right? So how did I get this one? I had to screenshot my screen. I would have found this one, but it is that the class is not going to be only a Photoshop class. As you know, I'm using Photoshop and CorelDRAW. So anybody that sees this will know, okay, this is from a CorelDRAW background. So I have to screenshot my screen. So on your keyboard, there's somewhere that has print screen, right? So if you click on print screen, it's going to screenshot your screen. So if you can paste it, click on Ctrl V. As you can see, this is my CorelDRAW screen, right? So I used my shape tool and remove where I didn't want. So this is how you improvise sometimes if you can't find some stuff that you need for design. Move your in here like this. So I had this, then I had to make it bigger a bit, right? And I rotated it like this. So if you look at it, it's not really blending with the background. So I had to, I would have just left it to show by itself. But I decided to blur it a bit also. So you can go to your bitmap, image adjustment, just give it a little of blue. Yeah, so you see, it's now looking a bit like what we have here. So I went to bitmap and I said blur it. As you see, as I blurred, the whole background came back. So I'm supposed to convert this thing to a bitmap. So we say convert to bitmap, so it will convert it to a picture. So right now it's not a picture to CorelDRAW. So I'll go back to my blur and say Gaussian blur. Is this enough? I think that's enough. So I say okay. So what else? This needs to come front, right? This one's. So I'll bring the Photoshop to the front. I say shift page up, it comes on top of it. So both him and this one needs to come up. So say shift page up. So now we have this like this, right? So what I did next is I carried all of them right? And go inside the page, because if you click on this Photoshop, you see the box is almost at this edge. So I just wanted to take you can leave yours outside, but I decided to hold two of them and this one, and I grouped it, Ctrl G. I cut it out, Ctrl X for cutting, and I go inside, I say edit power clip, and I paste, Ctrl V. So it's now inside back.